Hello Taurus, welcome to your weekly reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is for the week of April 2nd through April 8th. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I'm providing. Remember that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Here we have a Nine of Swords. Let's put that into some context. All right, we're going to use our Dove and Serpent spread. And as I do this, I also want to say if there is anything that you need me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know in the comments below. All right. So, finishing our Dove and Serpent spread. All right, got some court cards here. Quite a few court cards, actually. Let's do our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is the card that we're going to set aside. We're not going to look at this one until the very end of the reading. We're going to leave it right there. I do ask you to stick around until the end. And hopefully that'll tie everything together and give us the confirmation that we need. So, we've got court cards. We've got some major arcana, a little bit of major. We've got some air, some water, some fire. We've got some air, some fire, some air and earth. Not a bad balance. Pretty good mix of cards, I think. There's nothing that's really standing out to me as missing. We've got a little bit of everything. The kind of main concern is this Nine of Swords that we start out with. I think that you are, at least right now this week, I think you're having a difficult time being patient. Okay? I think that this may have something to do with a work issue, because we have these court cards, and then we're kind of ending with this Prince of Pentacles here on the path of the Serpent. So it feels like it may have some kind of a relation to your workplace or your career or the work that you're doing, but not to the work itself, but to the other people involved. Okay? So even if you're post-career, in retirement, whatever the work is that you're doing, whatever you spend your days working on, there are other people involved here, and I think you're losing a little bit of patience. I think you're usually a very kind person, very patient. I think you always allow people a lot of room to make mistakes, to figure things out on their own, to come to you if they need help. And I feel like you're a very gracious and generous person, I feel like you're very kind, very kind. This week, though, I feel as if there are a lot of things that are testing that patience. I feel that you're kind of losing a little bit of the patience with some of these folks that you think maybe are not as efficient as you are. Maybe some of these folks have a difficult time staying on task or figuring things out. And for whatever reason, it's starting to kind of weigh on you a little bit. It's starting to be a little bit more than you can handle. It's almost more than you can handle. I think you can handle it. But I think it's going to take some tremendous willpower for you to really take a deep breath. These are just people, and allow them to make their mistakes, allow them to figure things out. It could be that every 5 seconds they're coming to you saying, "Hey, help me, I don't know how to do this." So it's really a test of your patience this week with this Nine of Swords. Now, I feel like you're trying to see things from other people's points of view. You're trying to, especially with this Hanged Man, you're trying to put yourself in their position. You're trying to see things from their side of it. Like you remember when you were kind of a novice or a neophyte or an amateur and you didn't really know what you were doing, So you've been there. You know what it's like. And that's giving you a little bit of patience and tolerance for people who are still coming up, are still learning. And I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what kind of work you're involved in. I don't know if this is your career or employment, if this is your post-career work, or if this is something else altogether. But I feel like you're the one that people go to for help, when they're trying to figure something out. You want people to at least try a few times before they come to you to say, hey, help me figure this out. Some people are like that. Some people, as soon as they run into a problem, they bring it to somebody else, say, hey, I don't know what to do. There are other people that see a problem and they keep trying to fix it, right? They keep, and that is kind of showing me the moon card here. They keep coming back to this problem and trying to solve it on their own. The solution to any problem is really right beneath the surface. It's right there waiting to be discovered. And I think that these are the people that you like. These are your people, But not everyone around you is like that. We see a couple people here with these court cards, maybe the Queen of Swords and the Knight of Cups here, that just maybe don't have that same spirit. They don't have that impulse to just to apply themselves, try to figure it out. No, they run into a problem, something they don't know, something I've never seen before, and before they try anything, they come and ask for help. Now, sometimes that's a good thing, right? You don't want everyone tinkering with things and making the problem worse. If you don't know how to, if you don't know how to fix a nuclear power plant, don't just go in there and start pushing buttons to try to figure it out, I don't know if that's where you're doing your work or not. If it is, it sounds dangerous to me. But I feel as if in the recent past, maybe in the last couple of months, maybe the last few weeks, let's say, I feel like there was a particular problem that was an easy solution, but it was made worse by people who didn't know what they were doing. Does that make sense? I feel like the answer was right there, but because these people had no experience and, they maybe were new to this, they couldn't find that solution, okay? So I feel like you were really approached, and now maybe this isn't, no, it feels like a past thing. Did this already happened for you? I feel like they came to you, especially these two here, the two knights, the Knights of Swords, the Knight of Cups and Wands here. I'm eyeing this Queen of Swords over here. These two, I think, came with you with just almost a childlike kind of needy vibe, It's I don't want to dwell too much on what these other folks are like, but I feel like you're trying to give them instructions and they're just not listening. This person is kind of too hyperactive, too ready to just say, okay, I'm gonna go see what I can do, not really listening to you. This person is kind of the opposite, saying, I can't do it, I need more help. This person has serious doubts about their own talent, their own efficacy, really, right? So you have these two conflicting kind of personalities, and I think you're just trying to get things done. You're trying to be patient, you're trying to be tolerant, but it's almost as if nobody's listening to you. It's almost like you give the advice, you give the help and the assistance, but people just aren't paying attention. People forget what you told them. Maybe they didn't write it down. People don't take notes anymore. And so 5 minutes later, they're coming back with a similar problem, if not the same problem. And again, I don't know if this is, you're in a nuclear power plant, if this is some business that you're running, if this is the department that you run, or if you're just another coworker, but you're the one that kind of knows how to do everything. So everyone comes to you. And again, with the Hanged Man energy, I feel like you're literally trying to be patient with people, you know? And I kind of feel like you're trying to understand how they must feel, you know? You're trying to put yourself in their shoes because I think you have a hard time, and maybe it's because we don't have a lot of cups energy here. We have some cups in the future, we have the water here. You're trying to get a sense of how other people feel. You know, you're trying to maybe enhance or develop your empathy, right? But it's just kind of, that's the skill that you're trying to work on, right? So I feel that there's a lot of this. It's a lot of trying to be patient, trying to see like, okay, how must these people feel, you know, being in this kind of situation, whatever it is, work or at home, or where they kind of have this energy of always trying and failing, of not being good enough. You're trying to really assess these feelings. I think you have a difficult time connecting with other people on that emotional level. You know? I feel like that's what you're working toward. I feel like this this situation is honestly not all that serious, right? I think it has deeper implications for you. I think it means a lot more to you because of the inner work, the spiritual work that you're trying to do in relation to this. Kind of because of this or in response to this, let's say. I think what we're really looking for is a lot of water, happiness. This is fulfillment on every plane, physical, mental, emotional planes. This is you really being able to connect with people. This is you understanding people and connecting with people physically, mentally, emotionally. I think this is the kind of happiness that you're looking for. You know, and it could be why you're doing this work. I don't know if maybe this is service work, maybe this is something that's geared toward helping people. Okay? But I feel like you're really looking for this connection. You're really looking for this, the emotional relationship with people, or being able to feel kind of what they feel, to understand them better, to understand yourself better. So I feel like there is kind of a lot of arguing going on right now, and that arguing is, to me, it sounds like a symbol. It sounds like it's you trying to understand the other person, you know? And that arguing is you just trying to, you know, trying to get the information from them that's going to allow you to understand, you know, and that's a frustrating process. I feel the frustration, especially between these two, because these, you know, these are also aspects of yourself. This is your sensitivity, your emotion. You're trying to reach out and connect and be patient and talk. And then this is you just frustrated and wanting to kick everybody out, tell everyone to go home. So there's a battle in you between the fire and the water, between the, you know, the active and the passive, between the kind of anger and frustration and the love and the acceptance and the nurturing and the really wanting to understand and to care, you know. So there is the conflict. There is the conflict. And in the immediate future with that 9 of Cups, I think that's what we're after. We're after the kind of the connection between all aspects of ourselves. You know, we're trying to understand ourselves by understanding other people and vice versa. We're trying to find the emotional and the intellectual satisfaction and fulfillment through the work that we're doing, through the increase of our own understanding, right? And I wonder also if something like this, especially with this Nine of Swords, it feels like there is this frustration, not so much with other people, but frustrated that you're unable to really connect or understand these people. I wonder if maybe when you were a kid, if your family moved around a lot, like maybe I'm getting the impression that you went to many different schools, and so you never made like really lasting friendships. You never got this kind of closeness with anyone because you were always moving around, changing schools, that sort of thing. So I feel like now it's still kind of an issue. It's still a struggle, a frustration for you to really make these connections, you know? So I wonder if that is kind of playing a role in what's going on right now. Okay. We've got general energy, the Seven of Swords. This is, again, more frustration. This is the feeling like nobody is really listening to you. Okay. It seems like you're trying every approach you can to help these people, to connect with these people, to get your message across, to, you know, to make some kind of progress in whatever this work is. It's almost as if they don't hear you. So this, again, is that difficulty connecting. You know, this is maybe the idea to try some different strategies, right? Try some different approaches to get through to these rather stubborn people who are just kind of stuck in their ways. They're just bent on doing things one particular way. And you've got to try to get through to them, to connect with them in order to move this thing along, whatever this is that's going on, you know. So I feel like that's part of the struggle, that's part of the frustration. And this, with that Nine of Swords, this is, you know, I think it's serious for you, the way you feel about it, right? I think this frustration is real. Probably, like I said before, leads to a lot of arguing. The next card now is this Four of Wands. I feel like this is you kind of trying to keep things moving. This is you in some way being responsible for everything. This is you trying to keep the wheel turning at any cost, you know. Despite everything that's going on behind the scenes, this is you trying to maintain a certain level of productivity or activity or progress, right? Trying to keep the wheel going. And I think that you're a very crucial element in all of this. Like, you are the one, I think, that's keeping things going. That is holding things together enough for this to still make progress, for it, you know, kind of, you know, not to fall apart, let's say. And I think this is your skill. This is kind of your responsibility. This is you trying to keep everybody else in line, trying to keep everybody else ordered, while maintaining your own dignity, kind of, like your own sense of responsibility, you know? So it's just like, it's for whatever reason, it's on you to not let this thing fall apart. So you have to keep everything going. This is kind of also the idea that you're not going to sacrifice yourself for this work, but it's where is that line, you know? Because you have a deeper goal in mind here. There's a lot more going on for you than just keeping this thing together. But you have this commitment and this responsibility, but at the same time, you have your own, like, soul to worry about, you know? There are things that you are trying to accomplish. So it's like you're not doing this at any cost, right? But you are trying your best, let's say, to keep this thing together. Now, I don't know if this is your business or if you're working for somebody else, you're working for a company or something, but I feel like there's a lot of responsibility on you. Okay. And then next we have, as a fear, worry, and concern, this Queen of Swords. Now, I wonder if this is maybe a superior or something. Is this somebody that's looking down at you, observing what's going on? Is this the person that you are kind of like trying to... Maybe this is the person that you're really trying to connect with, right? Maybe this is, I don't know, someone further up the hierarchy, someone who is more of an observer than a participant, okay? This could be your own conscience, your own higher soul, yeah. Could be a supervisor, manager, a boss, owner, something. But I feel like there's somebody else that's kind of observing how you are handling this situation. And this is the real concern. Like, you just kind of want these people to get in line and start doing what they're supposed to be doing, actually learning something and developing in their own roles, because that's going to reflect very well on you. So I feel like there's someone here that's kind of overseeing things. All right. And the next card is, of course, this Prince of Discs or Pentacles. This, I think, is you just chugging along, really. I think this is you remaining in place. Keep doing what you're doing. Things will progress. There is light at the end of the tunnel. There is a goal. There is some marker of accomplishment that you will pass. There is a finish line. Okay. And I think what's required of you is just persistence. Use that Taurus energy. This card is the air of the earth. It is the fixed earth. It is a Taurus card. I mean, look at that bull. So this is really saying you need to just continue with what you're good at. Do things the way you know work. Be persistent. It may seem like it takes a while to get there, but you have that persistence. You're capable of that endurance. And I think that's what's being asked of you right now. And it's through these frustrations, through this trying to connect, that you're going to have these other components. It's not just you got to stick to the work and just grind it out. There's a lot going on internally, behind the scenes with you. A lot of spiritual growth, a lot of development that's taking place. And I think that's very important for you. I think that has a very high priority for you, to the point where if this work begins to threaten that, you're willing to sacrifice all of it. And that's part of the Hanged Man energy too, is that you're really trying to see different points of view. You're trying to connect and put yourself in the position of these other folks, understand where they're coming from and how they're feeling. But if it gets too much and it doesn't work and you've tried everything, you're also willing to sacrifice all of it. Because what's going on internally with you is more important. Your spiritual progress is more important than whatever this work is. Right? But again, that Prince of Pentacles is advising persistence, endurance, stamina to see this to the finish line. It's going to be worth it. Okay? Despite the frustrations, the success that you're after, the pleasure, the fulfillment, the satisfaction, the connections are there. Okay? And again, this is success on every plane. Physically, the work will be accomplished and it'll be rewarding. Intellectually and emotionally rewarding as well. Okay? But it's just going to take a little bit more effort, a little bit more time and endurance. Let's go to that mystery card. What is the mystery card going to be? Trying to get a feeling for what it might be. I kind of feel like it's going to be more of this air energy, honestly. Excuse me. I feel as if we've got all of this air here with this. Again, this is the person I think that is observing, right? This is the person that you're trying to kind of, you know that they're kind of looking over your shoulder, so you're trying to do a good job. You're trying to do everything the right way. And I feel like you're getting frustrated with the situation, with the circumstances, with the other people involved. I feel like people aren't listening to you. You're not able to connect with people. People just won't listen. They won't do what they're told, right? I feel like a lot of this is, I feel like a lot of it is an overactive intellect, okay? I think that a lot of this is you worrying. I feel like the Prince of Discs is the right way to go. The taking some of that air energy and using it as a fixed purpose, a fixed plan, a fixed goal in mind, and just doing the hard work, right? All of this other air energy is scattering your energy. It's diminishing your power and your endurance and your tolerance, right? You're getting impatient. So I think that this card's going to be an 8 of Swords, and that's going to let us know that this air energy that we see, the frustration, the impatience, etc., right? The 7 and the 9 is really something that we are doing to ourselves, and it's keeping us kind of locked up. It's kind of imprisoning us, like that 8 of Swords. Because we have the 7 and the 9, so what we kind of need is the 8. And the 8 to me is going to show us that, wow, this is kind of this is our own creation. Like we've built this monster of worry, of frustration, and impatience. So I'm thinking 8 of Swords. And there is the 8 of Swords. So I kind of feel like we're getting ourselves wrapped up, tangled up in this analysis, this thinking, this frustration, this worry, when really we kind of need to let it go a little bit. We kind of need to just relax and just let things flow and just do our best and allow our own nature to kind of come forward, our own spontaneity. Let the body do what the body does, because the body knows what it's doing, right? So trust yourself a little bit. Trust that you know how to do this, you know what to do, and try to kind of quiet down that part of you that's overthinking, that's worrying, that's analyzing everything. And just let yourself be, let things flow, let your natural leadership come out. And I think you'll see that a lot more progress is made. I think we get tied up in the overthinking and the analysis, the impatience, the frustration. And that kind of makes it worse. It compounds, you know. The more we do it, the worse things seem to be. And then the worse things are, the more we worry about it. So I think a lot of this, there needs to be some clarity, some relaxation. Find ways to unwind mentally, right? I like to say that the 8 of Swords is kind of like a tangle of these wires and cables that is just, we're in this knot that we can't really unravel this knot. We can't untangle the wires. So what we kind of need is to unwind, to unravel some of these wires, to loosen some of these knots where we can, you know. We're going to do an extended to see maybe if we can find a way to unravel some of these knots. If you want to become a member to the channel, please click on the link right here, and that'll give you access to all of the extended readings. Okay. This was your weekly reading, April 2nd through April 8th on Dove and Serpent Tarot.